What you need? NFL, NBA, MLB, MMA, PGA. We got lineups you can play. What you need? NFL, NBA, MLB, MMA, PGA. We got lineups you can play. Wolfpack, 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 Wolfpack.
Wolf of Fantasy Sports back with the DFS Wolfpack for NFL Week 5 first look. Going by DraftKings player pricing, I go by I Would Hate Me Too across the daily fantasy universe. That's DraftKings, FanDuel, Wolf of Fantasy on Yahoo, DFS Wolfpack. Looking at NFL Week 4, I'm going to do a brief recap. Had a successful week. Gets into the passing lane of Antonio Brown. When Antonio Brown can't get off and he can't make those situational football catches, the Pittsburgh Steelers struggle. Then 1 for 5 yards, 1 INT targeting Brown. You went to dfswolfpack.com. You look at my blog. Each week I do a player pool. I released it late this week. So you look at my quarterbacks. Anyone that's highlighted or bold, those are the players that I'm high on. So you see Ryan, Watson, Dalton, Baker, Trubisky. Those are the guys I rolled with. I had Rodgers in the Millie Maker, got him at 3% ownership, hoping that the Bills could put some points on the board. That didn't work out. Kamara, Gordon, Zeke, Gio, Coleman, White. Those are the guys I was high on. Thomas didn't do much. Luckily, I had limited exposure. I just couldn't afford him. I went Kamara over Thomas. Julio, Adams, Landry, Fuller, and then I like the lower tier a lot. Ridley, Shepard, Allison, all the chalk, Boyd, Mike Will, Callaway. Those are the guys I played. Gabriel was my sleeper player of the week. If you listen to my YouTube video, check me out, DFS Wolfpack on YouTube. My first look. Sanu, revenge game, I liked him a lot, and Ross to get off of the Boyd chalk. He worked out. Bryce Butler got a big old 0. Wasn't a good play. 3K guy that I thought could possibly get some run. Terrence Williams was out. Gronk didn't do much. Injured. Ertz killed it. Graham was alright. Got a touchdown, but nothing much. I think he got 11. Cook killed it. Tight ends versus Cleveland. That's a thing. I wish I had more exposure to him. Burton I had a lot of. Eifert had a lot of. Injured. Bad injury. Dude had a great bounce back. Looked like he was going to do some damage. Cincinnati's 3-1. They're on a roll. Got injured, out for the season, so hope he gets well. Ebron got that late touchdown. Didn't do much in the first half. Had a lot of him, Burton, Graham, and I had some of Cook. Njoku was okay. Hooper didn't do much. Jacksonville defense, Chicago, and Green Bay. All 3 of them were 3 of the highest scoring ones, so that was good. So on the recap of NFL Week 4, my player pool was solid. Hopefully it helped you win some money. Let's see if I could check out my history. I know what's going on with DraftKings.
I just spilled my water. I'll be fine. Okay, cool. Don't you worry about it. Make sure you were good, man.
Show you guys my main lineup. I'm gonna go on
Somebody make sure David didn't break something else. Marcus Mariota. Okay.
I'm gonna go on my Instagram. I got some of my lineups up here. So as you can see, on the main tournament, the early only I killed. I crushed the early only. The main tournament I put in 200, got back 561. My Millie Maker lineups 225. That was my main tournament. My main cash game GPP play. And I mean, it was a simple build. It was Dalton, 5,400. How could I refuse? You know, how could I not play him? Plays better on the road. Kamara, Gio Bernard was the lock of the century, right? Had to have Kamara last week without Ingram. Thought the game would shoot out nice. Shepard, loved him versus New Orleans. Allison, when Cobb was out, I had to throw in Allison. He was the missing piece because I needed a third receiver, and it was either Allison or Ridley, and I knew Ridley would be high owned, so I went Allison. He left the game, got banged up, got checked for a concussion. They kept him out. Boyd, you just had to play him. He's seeing the most target share. He's on the field the most snaps. He's just on the field the most. I thought he'd get the most opportunity. Ebron was chalk, and then Melvin Gordon. The game actually shot out, which was awesome. And Melvin Gordon at the end of the game. Let's say San Fran could have got a field goal or something. Melvin Gordon was right on the goal line at the end of the game, and they need it. So he could add a touchdown. Brought his score to about 40. They just ran the clock out. Bears defense, too cheap, 2,600. A lot of people had this build, essentially. Where they went different was the running backs. So they might have had Ezekiel Elliott, Barkley, and Melvin Gordon, something like that. I saw a lot of this type of build. But if you didn't break, I mean, this was a chalk week. These guys were in no-brainer spots. And looking at week 5, completely different, which is good. So looking at week 5, there's not obvious plays. You know, you're going to have to do your due diligence, do your research to really get ahead of the field, which is good because the scores won't be as high, right? So Monday Night Showdown, I like the Chiefs. I like Travis Kelce, Mahomes rushing touchdown. That's what I'm predicting. 2 touchdowns for Travis Kelce and Mahomes rushes in a touchdown. That's how I see it going down this week. Looking at NFL Week 5, I'm going to break this down real quick. Some of the plays that I really like. All right, Big Ben, Roethlisberger at home versus Atlanta. He should want to bounce back after that loss versus Baltimore. They should get everything together. You're going to look at he's got a lot of weapons. Connor, pass catching backs versus Atlanta. Hopefully Tomlin realizes that, and that's how they exploit the team. Looking at Rivers versus Oakland, I think that's a nice shootout game. Rivers at home is good. 6,700 got to pay up. Ryan versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense, I mean, Flacco's putting up 20s. Everyone's going off versus Pittsburgh. You got to like Matt Ryan here. Goff versus Seattle. High-powered offense. Got to love Goff. What he did versus Minnesota showed me a lot. On the road here versus Seattle. Earl Thomas just got injured. Their best defensive player, as far as I could see. He's not coming back no time soon. Out for the year. Goff's a great play. Really like Goff. Really like this offense. Newton versus the Giants at home like that. Out of this top end, I really like Ryan and Goff. Ryan's on the road, though. He's not indoors. So I would lean Goff. So I'm going with Goff here. Rodgers on the road versus Detroit. I like that. Mahomes versus Jacksonville. This will be the first week I don't play Mahomes. So I'm off Mahomes. One of my favorite players to watch. He's set up for success in that offense. I will fade him versus Jacksonville. Looking at, I'm off Mariota. He looked all right. He put up a big score week 4, but I'm off him. Cousins, don't mind him here. Don't like him that he's on the road. Dalton versus Miami. They're 3-1. They're missing Eifert now. I think Dalton's all right at home. I'll have some exposure. Wentz versus Minnesota. He's an okay play. Stafford versus Green Bay. That could shoot out indoors. Let's see here. Baltimore, Cleveland's interesting. I don't think I'll take Flacco. Baker, I don't like that. Derek Carr versus the Chargers, 5,200. His price is still low. He was in the afternoon game. Price didn't adjust to what he did. He put up over 30. I think Derek Carr is in play. Russell Wilson versus the Rams, I'm off that. That defense is good. Depending on the cornerback situation, I'll reevaluate that during the week, see if I want to roll him out there, but most likely no. Taking too many sacks. I'm off Eli Beathard. The shower narrative with Kittle. I'll think about that a little more. It's Arizona. So Beathard, I don't love it, but I think he is in play. Could possibly get you 20 DraftKings points. Josh Allen versus Tennessee at home. Should want to bounce back, 4,800. I think he's worth a GPP flyer. I mean, if he duplicates what he did in Minnesota, you just got to keep that in the back of your mind. He's going to come in at 1%, 2% owned. And if he puts up a 25, 27, can help you win a tournament. So, Josh Rosen, somebody to consider at 4,700. Darnold, I'm off him. And that's it. Running back. So, let's just lock in a player. See what kind of build we get. I'm going to lock in Derek Carr on the road here versus the Chargers. Teams have been playing good on the road versus the Chargers. I ain't worried about the on the road matchup there. Just the price is too low. I think he can get us 20 DraftKings points. Looking at Gurley, always in play, 9,400. Top running back on the slate. Gordon at home versus Oakland. I like him, but Eckler, he's touching the ball. He got the first touchdown last week. Gordon still ended up with 30. Possibly could add another touchdown at the end of the game. Got to look at him. Bell's out, so Connor's the guy. We'll talk about him. McCaffrey versus the Giants in play. Seen a lot of touches. 8,000. Barkley, Carolina, in play, but not someone I'm looking to pay up for. Connor, pass catching backs versus Atlanta. If he gets the touches and they get flowing, Connor could have a big game here. You see what Gio did, McCaffrey did, Kamara did. I think Connor could blow up again like he did week 1. Someone to consider. We'll throw him in there. Looking at Gio versus Miami, got the Q tag. Him and Mixon, we got to keep monitor. Freeman might come back this week versus Pitt. Somebody to consider. But you know what? Ito got the first touchdown in week 4, and that killed Coleman from hitting value or even coming close. So I just really don't like this running back situation with Atlanta. I'm going to probably fade them both, especially at that price, 6,400. Biggest mistake on week 4 was my Coleman shares. Had a couple lineups with Coleman. I should have had White. That was my mistake. I was really high on White, and I had the money for Coleman, and I took Coleman. So looking back in hindsight, that was a mistake. Still put up over 200 in a lineup. So David Johnson, I liked him last week. Thought he could eventually break out. He put up 19 DraftKings points. So he's in play versus San Francisco, 6,300. I'm gonna throw him in there. I like him. It's just a first look build. We're going back. Fournette, I'm off that. He's injured again. Should miss time. Hunt, Jacksonville, decent play, 5,800. But the usage and how they're using him right now, you would think he'd be more in play in this matchup versus Jacksonville. We'll see what happens. Breda, 5,700. I just don't think he's getting enough carries for me to run out there at that price. If he was 4,700, I consider him in the Beathard stack. Looking at Yeldon in play if Fournette's out. Could have a big game here. Lynch, he's okay, 5,500. Delvin, Lewis in play, 5,400. Delvin Cook, I'm off him. I'm off a high in this matchup. 5,200 though. His price is all right. Ajayi versus Minnesota, 5,100. Don't mind him here, especially if the few other running backs on that team are ruled out. Collins versus Cleveland, I'm off that. McCoy, I'm definitely off that. I don't know what's going on with Buffalo. Got serious problems. Versus Tennessee, I just don't want no parts of that. Price is so cheap. Lindsey, I don't want to touch them running backs in Denver. Buck Allen, I'm off of him. Drake, I'm definitely off him versus Cincinnati. Let's see down here. Henry, no. Aaron Jones, Green Bay, 4,300. Someone I'm going to consider. You saw what Zeke did last week. Aaron Jones looked really good versus Buffalo. Give me some Aaron Jones. We'll throw him in a flex. Wide receiver position. Real quick. Browns in play, of course. Julio Jones in play. It's crazy how Ridley's got 5, 6 touchdowns. Jones has none in the season, man. It's out of control, but Jones is definitely in play here. Pittsburgh pass defense doesn't look good at all. I think Jones gets in the box here. Odell Beckham, I'm off him. Keenan Allen, at that price, I'm off him. I'd rather pay up, but he's an okay play. Versus Oakland, definitely. Adam Thielen, 7,700 on the road versus Philly. You saw what Tajay Sharp, Corey Davis was able to do to this Philly pass defense.
I think Thielen's firmly in play at 7,700. You got to pay up. If you want to pay down and want exposure to this game, obviously it's Diggs. Adams, 7,600 versus Detroit. Don't mind this play, but I'd much rather have Thielen in this price range. Looking at Juju versus Atlanta, I like that a lot. 7,500. Last week, it was a shootout game. Pittsburgh's at home. Cincinnati beat Atlanta, so Schuster should get rolling here. Pair him up with Roethlisberger, Connor, get him in your Pittsburgh stack, or just play him by himself. I think he's a good play. If you can't pay up for Brown, you want exposure to this game, go to Juju. Cooks versus Seahawks in play. AJ Green, don't mind him, 7,200. But you know what? He should see Xavier, so I'd much rather have, if I want exposure to Cincinnati, go with Boyd, go with Ross. Manuel Sanders versus the Jets. He's a decent play. Much rather play Stephon Diggs in this price range, 7,000 versus Philly. I think that's a good price for him. I'm off Ty Freak for this matchup. Jarvis Landry, 6,800. Don't mind him here at home. Golden Tate versus Green Bay, that's a good play there, 6,700. Robert Woods in play, 6,500. Corey Davis versus Buffalo. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with Corey Davis yet, to be honest with you. Cooper Kupp, like him. I like Woods. Cooper Kupp, Cooks. Pick your poison. Alshon versus Minnesota. I'm off of him. Galladay's in play, 6,000. Calvin Ridley versus Pittsburgh. Yeah, definitely in play. 5,800. Price is up, but he's got what? 6 touchdowns in the last 3 games. 6, 8, and 5 targets in the last 3. Firmly in play. 5,800. Price went up, but he's firmly in play. Pittsburgh pass defense is not good. Tyler Boyd, 5,700. He's in play here. Demaryius Thomas, I'm off of him. John Brown, in play, seems to be Joe Flacco's favorite target. They got a good chemistry going. John Brown on the road. Decent play at 5,600. I'm off Shepard this week versus Carolina. Cooper is in play here, 5,500. I'm off of Stills, Miami pass catchers. They're all seeing within 5 to 6 targets. I mean, if you're gonna play anybody from Miami pass catchers, it would be Stills. Aguilar is okay here at 5,300. Quincy Enunwa, 5,200. I'm off of him. I don't really like Funchess all that much in this matchup. Jenkins shut down. Jenkins did pretty good last week versus Michael Thomas. So if he sees any of Funchess, it's not going to be good for him. Allison's questionable. Left last game versus the Bills, so I don't know what to make of that. Crabtree. I don't want to play Crabtree. 5,100. Price is right, but I don't want to play him. Cobb, got to check the status. Baldwin, decent play. Keelan Cole, first impressions versus Kansas City. He's definitely in play at 4,900. Bortles, I will have a Bortles lineup. I don't know if I mentioned him in the quarterback section, but he is definitely in play here versus Kansas City. So, looking at Sammy Watkins, I'm off him. I'm off Westbrook, even though those pass catchers for Jacksonville are tempting. I'd much rather have Cole over Westbrook. Marvin Jones in play at 4,700. Targets don't seem to be there. 6, 6, 9, 8. They're decent. He's not getting double-digit targets. Tyler Lockett. Jordy Nelson. I'm off Goodwin. Yeah, Lockett's okay here. Lockett's in play. Jordy, I'm off. Mike Williams is interesting. Let a lot of people down last week. Only got 3 targets. Didn't do anything with him. I'm off Moncrief. Yeah, he went off week 4. Damn. That was a nice play. 4,100. He was 36 last week. That was a good play. So, looking at Moncrief. Taywan Taylor saw some targets. 9 targets, 77 yards. Now that Rashard Matthews is out of the picture. Sanu, revenge game last week. He paid off. Got 9 targets, 111 yards, 20 DraftKings points. I think he's in play this week versus Pittsburgh. Kirk saw some targets. Nothing that I'm interested in. Tyrell the Gazelle saw 5 targets. Calvin Benjamin, this a lot of talk and he can't back it up. 1 for 6. Higgins is somewhat in play here. 3,500. Jordan Matthews caught a touchdown. Didn't do much. 3 targets. That's pretty much it. I mean, not a lot to like down here. I like Sanu. Lockett's in play. Marv Jones. Keelan Cole. Baldwin is way too cheap. Saw 7 targets. Baldwin is cheap. Baldwin and Lockett, that's an interesting, just the price on those guys. Russell Wilson, still one of the best quarterbacks in the league at home. Rams cornerback situation. Going to have to see who's playing, who's in, who's out. To leave should be out. So you would think Lockett, maybe Baldwin. I think one of them could pay off big time. That's about it. That's as low as I'll go. Favorite pay-up option, obviously Julio Jones. Got to get a touchdown eventually, right? Antonio Brown, Thielen, Diggs, Schuster. Those are guys I'm going to want to pay up for. And then you got the Rams pass catchers. Wide receivers, I like Kupp. I like Woods. I like Cooks. Then I think Detroit, Ridley. John Brown. There's some plays here for wide receiver. I don't mind. I don't mind them. So what I do on my player pool is during the week, you know, I go over my player pool and I kind of narrow down my list. Like I choose my top 3, 4 quarterbacks that I'm going to play. So if I got a pool of like 7 or 8, I try to narrow it down to about 3 or 4 that I'm going to put in my lineups. And then same goes for running back, wide receiver. I try to just shorten my list in my player pool. So looking at tight end position, Ertz, I like that. Got to pay up though. Kelsey versus Jacksonville, don't mind him. Kittle, shower narrative. Not a bad play here. Let's see how many targets he got. CJ Beathard, his former college teammate. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 125. Touchdown. He just absolutely killed it. 27 DraftKings points. Him and Jared Cook. I think Jared Cook's a play again. You see if Jared Cook gets double-digit targets, he goes off, right? 30, 34, 13 targets, 12 targets. Something to look at. I don't mind the matchup here. Tight ends, I would probably have to, at first look, Jared Cook looks to be a great option. If he gets the targets, he should be productive. Jimmy Graham versus Detroit. Vance McDonald. And then you have the injury with Tyler Eifert. So you have Tyler Kroft, CJ Uzomah. I mean, these are both punts. Who knows which one's going to go off. We've seen Kroft have a few good games last season when Eifert was out. Uzomah has a touchdown on the season, I believe, this year, week 3. I mean, they're not gonna break a slate, you wouldn't think. So, Seals Jones, someone to consider. Antonio Gates scored a touchdown last week, I believe. Yep, 5 targets. Not seeing many targets. So in this, I mean, Charles Clay saw a lot of targets at home. Bills tend to play a little bit better. I'm from Buffalo. Charles Clay should be the guy here. Saw 6 targets. If he gets in the box versus Tennessee, Tennessee's got a tough defense, so it's going to be interesting. The lowest I would go is Charles Clay as a punt. You got Godert from Philly. What did he see last week at targets? Saw 2. So, I mean, regression for him in the negative. So, yeah, I mean, if you're going to pay down, the lowest I would go is Clay on a complete punt. I really don't like the target. Buffalo offense. I like to fade them or pick on them. Jones. another punt play. But I would say Jared Cook, if he gets double-digit targets, 4,800, the price is fair. And Jimmy Graham. So that's about that. And then looking at defense, I mean, it's not clear cut. You would think the Titans versus Buffalo, highest priced defense, and for a good reason. Buffalo, their offense is not look good. Rams defense should be able to get to Russell Wilson. So, but it's in Seattle, and they got the best defense on the paper, even though they're missing their corner. Panthers versus the Giants, I can see that working out. So DraftKings did a good job pricing certain players and defenses up where they belong. So kudos to them, because now, the herd, the fish, so to speak, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be more difficult for them to build lineups as easy as it was in week 4. Looking at Broncos, don't mind them at all, too. We'll see how they fare against the Chiefs tonight. Chargers, I don't like that. Jacksonville versus Kansas City. Now, that'll be, I won't play Jacksonville. Ravens are interesting at 2,800. Bengals are interesting. The Vikings are very cheap. And the Raiders surprisingly put up some good points. Double digits, 12 points versus Cleveland. 2 interceptions, 2 defensive fumble returns, 2 sacks. No Khalil Mack. The Raiders is a complete punt. I think they get you 5 to 10 DraftKings points. If you want to completely punt, go with the Raiders. The Vikings are just really, really cheap. Lately, they haven't done much, and they've been giving up a lot of points. So, that would be a fade as of right now on the road for me. Don't mind the Ravens. Should be getting Smith back. Jimmy Smith should be coming back for this game. So that's interesting. Look at the Ravens. And then, I mean, it's really going to come down to just paying up for the Titans. They just looked really good. And against Philly, they put up 6. Jacksonville, 12, 7, 11. I mean, it's going to be difficult to figure out which defense scores in double digits this week. I would say look at the top 4, top 5 defenses here, and then take a look at the Ravens, possibly, with Jimmy Smith coming back. And it's going to take me all week to figure out which team I'm going to land on for defense. So good luck this week. Hit me up at Dfs Wolfpack, Instagram, Twitter. I would hate me too on DraftKings, FanDuel. If you want to join the DFS Wolfpack League on DraftKings, go to my Instagram, click on the link, copy and paste it, put it in the web browser, and hit me up direct. Good luck this week. 1.
It's NFL season, DFS, GDP, and cash season. Wolfpack got that lineups that'll smash. Study hard, pay attention, you'll cash. Wolfpack, yeah, you hear the how. Wolfpack, yeah, you hear the how. Wolfpack, yeah, you hear the how.